or they might instead go for this point. Bit interesting. Very little infantry holding the position here, assaulting the engineers in there, clearing them out with their assault grenades. A bit excessive usage of munitions, I might argue. I do believe we're also seeing some sticky bombs, since that Stuke 4 just got quite damaged, and engine damage as well. Sappers moving in, we might be seeing some Piats for them to support. Sappers being alright infantry, in fact they do as much damage as an infantry section. The only difference is really they don't have quite the same anti-infantry weapons that can't be upgraded, and of course they are fewer, but otherwise in most times they can in fact be used as combat infantry, a bit better than pioneers or engineers. And there we go, Piats being equipped for the sappers. Stuke 4 not looking in a good position, trying to knock out that headquarters command truck with its last breath, and we are seeing some 25-pounder gun rounds hitting here for some reason. Not entirely sure what they're hoping to hit. This spot would have been a lot better, since that's where all the Nebelwerfers are. And looks like this Stuke, yes, there we go, main gun is destroyed. It has to pull out. Another Stuke moving in, and looks like stormtroopers of the 12th SS has been called in to aid the assault. Will be most interesting to see if they will be able to pull out. And there we go, Nebelwerfers bombarding the trenches, rendering them a fiery hell for anyone in there. And the headquarters command truck is blown to bits. Stuke 4 though goes out of control, crashes into the strategic point. Americans continuing their havoc in the behind German lines, assaulting the Nebelwerfers. Still not having taken this MG42 though. A bit curious in fact. And we are seeing an American anti-tank gun moving in. Not here though, might have been helpful, but a bit curious though. And looks like this 25-pounder gun howitzer is coming under direct fire from the Stuke 4, and now stormtroopers. One more shot and this howitzer will be no more. So there we go, leaving behind only the field support truck and a lieutenant. They might want to get out of there. Stormtroopers though taking a bit of fire and getting killed slowly, but not looking good though for the British though. The Stuke continues onwards and the stormtroopers remain as well. Now with veterancy 2, making them a lot more lethal. And we are seeing the headquarters command truck moving in towards this position once more. Sticky bomb off on the Stuke 4, damaging the engine. Looks like a bit to be a repeat performance. What almost Stukes might be joining in. And we are seeing further anti-tank guns being maneuvered in, since the British commander does seem to be lacking rather heavily in anti-tank assets. And once more the howling of the Nebelwerfers can be heard. Stuke 4 desperately trying to get back, but due to a lack of infantry support it is quite a target, and it is getting covered in sticky bombs. Now utterly immobilized and thus rendered easy prey for the American riflemen, jumping upon it like wolves. And we are seeing veterans infantry 3 destroyed engine. Now this Stuke 4 will certainly not be going anywhere, and a bit of friendly fire from the Nebelwerfers, completely knocking it out. And we are seeing some Volksgrenadiers and stormtroopers with veterancy 3 looking ready for a fresh assault. Just those stormtroopers needing one more fellow to join in with them. And getting Panzerschrecks now, despite any lack of armor from the Americans. In fact, not even a single armored car or a light tank. And looks like the British are slowly pulling back. The Americans still are though holding their positions, though they could have used for example a medic station, or for example getting that MG42, which so far none had actually taken back. Slaithium doing alright with all of those Stukes he has, but he is a bit lacking in infantry. But looks like he is getting some replacement Volksgrenadiers to actually throw into the fight. And we are hearing artillery fire going in here, knocking out another Stuke. Slaithium really suffering heavily in the Stuke department. And looks like we are seeing some sappers perhaps trying to lay down some mines. In fact, let's go have a look. Slaithium, of course, cares. CombatMuffin there, Captain Muffin with how to shoot, nothing else. And looks like these mines were not finished though. Could have been helpful. But there you go. MG42 by Vexial sitting up there. Stormtroopers and Volksgrenadiers leading the charge. And we are seeing an anti-tank gun being exposed without any support, because Mr. Squaloke is unable to actually provide support from it. And we are seeing another Nebelwerfer barrage flying in. Things are certainly not looking good. We are seeing riflemen charging in, perhaps clearing a bit out here. Will there be any grenades from the American infantry? Apparently not. But they do manage to clear out that MG42. clearing out the pioneers and Volksgrenadiers nearby, although taking quite a bit of fire from all these Volksgrenadiers and stormtroopers as well. And this field support truck is still quite exposed. Artillery flying in from the British, apparently. Looks like it, because that's not it either. But we are seeing a howitzer being set up by the Americans as well. It's rather heavily artillery assets for the Allied in that quest against the Germans, but losing the northern approach as Volksgrenadiers continue to flood in, now with Puma support. And a British counterattack going in towards the center, hoping to oust those Volksgrenadiers, but they are quite tough, even faced with Bren guns and reconnaissance sections with marksmen and whatnot. And we are seeing sappers with Piats as well. Volksgrenadiers seeking towards the trench. And once more that Nebelwerfer battery does the thing it does so well and blasts away. Artillery being hammered in somewhere, not entirely sure. In the central position, catching some stormtroopers, sending them flying, only one left. And now Volksgrenadiers are suffering heavily as well. Even further heavy losses, bits blown everywhere, and Volksgrenadiers flying straight into the barbed wire. Looks like the British are desperately trying to hold this position, but the exposure to artillery fire constantly is not doing them any good, and not looking good for the American either. They really need some sort of armor to actually carry their assault. That also applies to the British, I feel, as they need something the Nebelwerfers can't touch so easily. And the infantry is rather easily dealt with by Nebelwerfers, so goes for emplacements as well. And a Stuart light tank earlier, I do believe, would have been a much more help. Now instead going for buffers, despite knowing that this is quite under the range of fire for the Nebelwerfers. And let's in fact go have a look at Squaloke. What has he gone for? Can't entirely say. Could be Royal Canadian Artillery though, I believe. Would certainly not be unplausible. We shall have to see. British infantry moving towards the center. American infantry joining in as well. Rather huge lump of troops. Rather nice target for the Nebelwerfers, who are continuing to do some nasty bits. And we are seeing a Stu-42 joining in. Volksgrenadier stormtroopers and the Stu-42, quite an imposing force. Although those BARs will be making short work of those Volksgrenadiers if they stand out in the open. But the Stu-42 will itself also do some nasty bits to those American infantrymen. And now the Nebelwerfers joining, covering the entire area in a thick blanket of incendiary fire. Slowly smoldering and burning any allied infantry caught out in it. Certainly not looking good. And there we go, a firestorm, and we are seeing a casualty clearing station as well. Quite a nice target, blasting away at everything. Oh dear. Looks like this Bofors won't be making it out alive. There we go, knocked out by a Panzer Shrek. And now we are seeing further shells from the Stu-42 just blasting away at all British infantry. Heavy losses, sappers moving in with a Piats, hoping to knock out the beast that blows apart their brethren. But the Stu-42 continues undeterred, unfazed by the presence of Piats. And further heavy losses are inflicted. And now taking on those sappers, killing two with one shot, forcing the last one to get out of there most swiftly. Small counterattack in the center by engineers with flamethrowers. Volksgrenadiers taking up the center of the road where they are a lot less exposed to flamethrowers, but that's the only time you actually want to be standing out in negative cover. Otherwise, you want to be in the best cover possible. Engineers, though, looks like they will be cut apart by the Volksgrenadiers and are forced to retreat. We are finally seeing some armor out from the Americans, getting the M4 Sherman to rather help deal with some of all this nasty business. Nothing for the British though. Not even a Stuart light tank to even help the slightest. Despite the fact there's barely any anti-tank assets among the Germans. Further stormtroopers joining in to lead the Volksgrenadiers into battle. And we are seeing an observation post being laid down on this munitions point, probably to help his comrade Mr. Slaithium. No, it's to get some more firestorms down, but also probably to get some more munitions for his assault grenades and bundle grenades. The Stu-42 watching over the center. And what is this? We are seeing a 17-pounder anti-tank gun, but it will probably be too close to all of this Nebelwerfer fire. And there we go, the howling of the Nebelwerfers once more, hitting awfully close to the British positions, who are quite exposed. And now looks like the charge is being set in just as the 17-pounder gun finishes. British infantry will have to move in swiftly to try and cover it. Stu-42 right in the line of fire and taking quite a bit of fire, but Panzerschrecks are being fired off as well. Oh dear, it will be cleared out. Stu-42 is knocked out, but it is swiftly the end for the 17-pounder, since there was absolutely nothing to protect it. And now we are seeing Nebelwerfers and another firestorm blasting in. Sapper team is absolutely slaughtered in the rain of fire, and we are seeing the field support truck as well, heavily damaged, and will probably be knocked out shortly as well by Panzerschreck rockets. And now this just looks like a small hell, and now the field support trucks disappears into the flames as well. British troops writhing amongst the blazing fires and being behind a Bren machine gun and a Piat. Not looking good at all for the Allies. They really should not have dug in right here, but instead have gone for some armor to really help. Instead they ended up as targets for those Nebelwerfers, who really do quite a nice job. And now a Tiger 205 joining in from the 101st SS Schwere Panzer Abteilung. Very nice job. Will certainly be able to really put the final nail in the coffin for the Allies. And Volksgrenadiers quick to seize up any left behind weaponry, grabbing the Bren and the Piat. So it's certainly not a bad move. Not entirely sure what happened to that Sherman. Suppose it must have been lost here or here around.
HQ is down to 300 points.
Looks like they are moving once more in a gathered flock, really hoping to press through. But the Tiger moves in, killing quite a few British troops. And now Nebelwerfers are once more really hitting all of these exposed infantrymen, forcing a full rout for the Allies. Howitzer shells, on the other hand, flying in amongst the German stormtroopers, catching them in a rather nasty position, killing some, wounding others. Oh dear, rather devastating hit amongst those Volksgrenadiers, killing quite a few. And looks like it might almost blow up that anti-tank gun which was left behind. But the Tiger itself is unfazed, unmoved. Artillery is for pansies. It would rather face them with an 88mm gun up close. And looks like the remains of the British forces are healing up near this headquarters command truck, getting the 105mm priest, thus getting the right guess that this is the Royal Canadian Artillery. But I don't think artillery will save the situation now, in particular not with the Tiger on the field and whatnot. German forces have secured all 3 victory points. Allied troops are looking in a bad position. Let us return to Mr. Vexial, in fact, who also has blitzkrieg if it becomes necessary. Volksgrenadier is apparently getting a bit too close, and the rest looks like to be digging around here. Not keen on moving any further, Mr. Slaithium seems to be. And looks like this Duke did manage to get the kill on the Sherman, but where the Sherman went into flames I cannot say, as I was a bit caught up here. But now we are seeing the priest lining up, the priest being actually an American artillery